Alright guys, this is the morning of the meet of the 4th track meet, last normal one before districts. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't sleep that great. I haven't been sleeping great actually. I really need to lock in and sleep earlier. But anyways, 4th meet, it's really far away. I'm racing the 400, 800, 4x4. And I have to, bro. I have to go sub 1. I have to go sub 220. I'm so close. 2.5 seconds on the 800, basically, and less than half a second on the 400. I'm really gonna try to push myself. I really want this. And yeah, let's go get breakfast. Classic pre-race meal: bagel, banana, some extra fruit, maybe a granola bar, some applesauce. I'm actually gonna put peanut butter on my bagel. I gotta get my water.
Alright guys, 4th meet of the season. I'm racing the same events as the 2nd meet. You can see we actually got down right there, and it was kind of inaudible, but he said everybody up, and that's because the start gun didn't work, and this is actually a relief for me. You can see me stretching right here, and that is because I got on the field ready for the 400 after doing my warm-up half a mile, and I forgot my nose strip, so I had to take my spikes off and run onto the bleachers, grab my nose strip, run back, tie my shoes. Hank put on my nose strip for me, and I was literally tying my shoes like while they were getting ready, and it was so stressful, but thankfully I had time to stretch. So yeah, after all that, I was kind of rushed into this race, but I really wanted to go sub 60 after getting so close like 2 times. There I am in lane 6, finally getting an outer lane, and I make sure to get out really hard. But what I didn't know is that this meet was very competitive in the 400. Those 2 guys actually start gaining on me, and since they have the inner lane, that gives them an advantage, and now they're actually like ahead of me, which is a crazy surprise to me because the lowest place I've ever got in the 400 this season is 2nd. Instead of just giving up though, I actually use this competition that I finally have to push myself. You can see in the guy in lane 4, he actually like stops down and like bends down real quick. He kind of told me, but I didn't really get what he was saying. Apparently his like shorts fell down or something. Nearing the end of this race, I just think about how bad I want it, and I just gave it my all. I finally went sub 60, and by over a second too. I got my season goal in the 400. Now let's see if we can do that in the 8. I don't know why, but I was really like overly nervous for this race, and it did not help that he took so long to shoot the gun. Like you could see so many people flinch, and maybe it's a thing to help with false starts, but I was not ready for that. This was only about 30 minutes after the 400, so I was still pretty tired, but I got some of my energy and strength back. I go out really hard for some reason, just to get under my time goal, I guess. But right there behind me is Spencer, and after 100 meters, we already have like a 5-meter gap on the field. Like I said at the start of the video, this school is really far away, so instead of the meet starting at 4 like usual, it actually started at 5, so this race was actually around 7:30 p.m. Our first 200 was 32, and yeah, I didn't race the mile this meet. Spencer did though. I thought he'd have a chance of winning it, but he was only actually able to come 3rd, but he did get a time of 5:15, which is crazy, bro. Sadly, my brother was not able to run this meet because he was having some Achilles/ankles problems, and he just wanted to be safe for a soccer tournament. Ideal splits for a sub 220 would be coming through the first lap in around 68 or 69, but we end up splitting 70 through 400. Me and Spencer are still maintaining our distance ahead of the field, but watch that guy in blue right there. He ends up having an insane kick. 110's close to goal pace, but it's actually like really bad because to run a 219, I'd have to go 109 negative splitting, and that is something you never want to do in an 800. The guy in third right now with the really long stride was actually the guy who finished ahead of me in cross-country districts. But yeah, as you may have seen right there, the guy who I pointed out, he ends up making a move with 300 left, moving from 5th to 3rd. It looks like Spencer is finally having a good 800 race after trying to stick with me at the second meet and then fading, and then trying to stick with T at the third meet and fading.
A little harder.
Unlike the 400, I just didn't have that extra competition to push me. It was just me and Spencer's footsteps behind me.
All right, Landon, there you go. Now, sprint
During
out.
the race, I had no idea about that guy behind me currently in
Sprint
third.
out, Landon, sprint out.
I'm
There
pretty
you go.
sure I raced him in the 400, and he was the guy whose like underwear was falling down or whatever. But he really starts gaining on us. My kick is all right, but it looks like he's about to get Spencer, but oh, he holds back, and I get a 223. About 4 seconds slower than I wanted. Spencer gets a 224, which is like a 6-second PR. And you can see him with his hands on his knees right here. He was breathing so hard, bro. I thought he like pulled something, but he really just pushed himself. Real quickly, going back to rushing to get my nose strip on, I used the same one for the entire meet. But since I was rushing to get it on before the 400, Hank did it for me, so it saved some time. But I was just rushing to get on the line, so he actually kind of put it on wrong. So my breathing wasn't necessarily how it usually is with the nose strip. And yeah, I was pretty far off my goal, but I still got at least one more race to get under 220, and I was still able to get the win to score points for our team. Here we go for the last time before districts, the 4x4. Despite this meet starting an hour later than usual, the team arranging it was actually very efficient, so this was only about 8:30. The bad thing about that, however, is that was only an hour after the 800, but it did not feel like an hour at all. It felt so short. I had never raced at this track before, but it was in pretty good shape. No major holes that I can remember. And T, the guy I raced in the third meet in the mile with that dramatic finish and everything, he's actually going to this high school. Our first leg today is going to be Perry, and our coach, I don't know what he was thinking, but instead of an A and B team, he decided to do like an X and Y team. So it wasn't really like based off speed. He was just like testing something out, I think. On our other team, the first leg is Ben, and he actually wore spikes for the first time this meet and absolutely destroyed. He ended up splitting a 101 for the Y team, which is like a 3-second PR, which is crazy. And then Perry on the X team, he ends up splitting about a 102 mid. Second leg on the Y team is our number 3 for the mile, Finn, and then leg 2 on the X team. Sorry if this is getting confusing, but leg 2 on the X team is Hank. Oh, and by the way, I'm on the X team. We're currently in 4th, and for the 4th meet in the row, there's another team that's super far ahead. Hank was talking a big game before this. He really wanted to like make this race count and qualify for districts. Yeah, he was doing all these like calculations and everything.
Get it back, JJ,
But his execution, honestly, no offense to Hank at all, his execution was not that good. Oh, yeah, you can see that team in first. They like their second leg steps into the field. My dad is like questioning if that's a disqualification. Honestly, I wouldn't say it is. It's middle school. He wasn't cutting anyone off. It wasn't on a turn. But in a pro race, it probably is a disqualification. On the white team, Finn splits about a 107, then hands off to Spencer for, I think it's his first 4x4. And then Hank ended up splitting a 109, way slower than he wanted. I don't know what is going on. But then he hands off to Ben. Ben gets out hard and is able to move us from 4th to 3rd in the first 100. Ben was actually a replacement. It was supposed to be my brother, but as I said earlier, he was having some like Achilles problems, and to be safe with soccer and all that, he talked with our coach, and we talked to Ben, and Ben agreed to be third leg. Spencer's had a weird season. He's been like injured most of it. He's gone to like all the practices, but not always ran. And to like help him and give him more support, instead of wearing spikes this meet, he went with the Vaporflies. Coming off the second curve, Ben is unfortunately fading, and we fall back to fourth, but the white team is still holding strong in second. They both end up splitting on 106, Spencer and Ben, and that's actually really good for Ben, and it's pretty good for Spencer since he doesn't have much experience with the 400. Dom is anchor on the Y team, and I am anchor on the X team. I've never been this far back in the race, so I use this adrenaline and absolutely sprint for the first, 200, and you can see me moving past them. I'm moving, bro, and I literally scream, nah, because I'm just, I have so much adrenaline in me right now. After getting those 2 passes, I chill out a bit, but I'm still moving at a pretty fast pace. There's a small chance I can catch up to first, but my main focus right now is just maintaining my place ahead of these 2 guys. Even though it's just 1 lap, it's very possible to go out too hard. That guy who had the crazy kick in the 800 is right behind me right now, and he's about to lay it down. I'm sprinting as hard as I can, but with 50 meters left, he starts moving around me. And about right here, something happens to force me into an abnormal stride that I was not used to. Pushing my body to its absolute limits caused it to shut down, making me collapse at the line. The injuries and falls looked better than they felt.